Okay, guys, what's going on? Got a ton of books to show. Going to get through it. I got these things put up. I've been very fortunate in the month of December, it looks like, finding books. If you saw my last video and now this one. Got comic books that I got almost all of these in trade. I got a huge stack of comic books where I just traded 10 Deadpool comics. I got uh, a huge stack of comic books where I keep a box of comics of stuff I'll just never read again. 80s Thor, with Walt Simonson. I know there's other stuff, probably some random Fantastic Four from the 90s and things like that. That I'll keep in the back of my van just to kind of sell or whatever. Somebody, when I run across somebody or something, and traded a few of those books off for some stuff. And I got another little stack here that I got for like about $5 at a pawn shop, right? So the first thing I want to show you is what I got at the comic book shop. I remember what he took. He took some. He took a bunch of those Walt Simonson Thors and a few Iron Man books from the early '80s that I'll never read again. And I got all this stuff. And right off the top of the stack, my buddy picked up this first book for me. From the same shop, wouldn't let me pay him the money for it because I ordered this online and it didn't get it. But I got the next couple here. I got my DK3, the Master Race. Pleasantly surprised. There's my review. It was not bad. Okay, whenever I see Archie books crossing over with characters you never thought they would get, I always end up getting them later on. I'm kind of impressed and everything like that. The Archie Punisher from the 90s cracked me up because it worked when it shouldn't have. And then the Archie Kiss crossover, the Kiss band, cracked me up because they kind of pulled the Kiss from the late 70s when they did that Marvel Super Special. It kind of felt like them. It didn't really hold my interest, but I thought it was kind of got a chuckle out of me because it was actually working with Sabrina the Teenage Witch and everything in it. And then I saw this, #1 of Archie versus Predator, so I figured, why not? Anyway, I love Goon. I love Eric Powell. I try to get anything Eric Powell does when I run across it. But here's #3 of Once Upon a Hard Time. I have an issue or two up there. It's only a 4-issue miniseries. This is #3 of 4. And it kind of gave you the feeling, if I remember right, from the issue or two I read, that it was not going to end well for the Goon yet again, I have a huge run of the Max from the 90s by Sam Keith. I'm always meaning to kind of finish that off, so I keep an eye out. But IDW has started reprinting the series with new colors. They're having colors come in and recolor the whole series, and I think Sam Keith is coming out doing new covers for them. So I just picked up an odd issue since I was getting all this in trade, just to kind of go back and see what the differences are. How far have we come with the coloring? Is it worth doing? I love Road Warrior, the movie Road Warrior, the one that made Mel Gibson. Mad Max. I feel like everybody should have that movie in their movie collection because I grew up on it. I loved it. Like Thunderdome, love Road Warrior, and I like the new Mad Max Fury Road that came out. So I got issue 1 of the Vertigo series where they're retelling the movie, I'm assuming. Just to have the #1. But then the comic book shop owner, Daryl, D&J Hobby Shop in Galax. I have some tales from the D&J Hobby Shop videos, up. We need to do a new one sometime. Talked to me to get into trade because there's a story in here that's not in the comics. So, didn't take much. Yeah, twist my arm to make me get Mad Max. Yeah. Got #5 of this. The same, the same, thing happened. I thought I ordered this, but apparently I didn't. The subscription didn't pick up on the online ordering. That's, I don't get many new books anyway. But this is #5 of Star Trek versus Planet of the Apes, and this is the Star Trek proper from the '60s with the Charlton Heston movie from the '60s. And it works out quite well. This is #5, a fantastic series. I'm trying to think what there's a lady from England that draws this, and I didn't realize it, but I kind of bragged on this book on Twitter, and she thanked me, and it was really cool, and it made me really go back. She really got the likenesses of all these characters down pat. I mean, nice little, little fun series, is the way to put it. I pick these up as I come along. Baltimore, just a bunch of, this is 1 of 2, Chapel of Bones. But this is a series of, I guess, mini-series. Nice little horror from Mike Mignola, real H.P. Lovecraft, little Stoker. Anyway, you know, kind of influence there with some of these from what I remember. Just really good. He has the one red eye that makes me think of the Tick when he and Arthur were in the comics going cross country in the station wagon, and the Tick heard about the red eye who hitches. I don't think it's the same character. Yeah. I thought it was funny. Anyway, got me from the pages of Sandman. I've got #1 upstairs. They kind of brought this back. I don't know if it's a miniseries where we're at, but I kind of picked this stuff up as I see it. Dead Boy Detectives, a little bit of horror, a little bit of Hardy Boys, a little bit of you know, dead schoolboys from England. Two of, you know, one was let go from hell. So just got a few issues of that. I think it's issues 3 and 4. Yeah, 3 and 4. These came out last year. Yeah, old news. Yet another #1 for our Doc Savage with a very Steranko / Nick Fury / 60s pop art feel to it. This is from Dynamite. And then just for fun, I got a few Doctor Who books. Have not been enjoying the Peter Capaldi era. Like Peter Capaldi, but you know, I feel like he's doing the best with what they're giving him. But I figured I'd just try these out, just to you know, get a, you know, kind of get a taste of what they're doing with them nowadays. And a little Murder Incorporated from Michael Avon Oeming and Brian Michael Bendis, the guys that brought us Powers. Yeah, Murder Incorporated. Yeah, I dig their stuff. Okay, and continuing on with the trade I got for those books. I went ahead and gave this a chance because there was a lot there, and I figured why not. And I'm really trying not to, like, I'm really down on modern comics, so I figured, hey, let's see what's going on. Maybe they'll surprise me. And no, they didn't. I find this unreadable. Let me just show you what they are. I don't know if I'll go on a rant or not. I have #1, but here's #4 of Secret Wars. That's going on now, and they seem to keep expanding it and being late on the books. So here's #4. I read that. #5, I tried to read this. You know, Secret Wars. Fantastic Alex Ross cover. Here's #6. If you can make out that cover. Yes, yes. #7. With where it looks like they're all going to hell. Then I got a bunch of the battle books and a few of the things. None of these are really complete, but it's enough to give me a flavor here. Here's the Red Skull. I read this. Here's #2 of Red Skull. He and Magneto. Okay. Infinity Gauntlet. Who knows, #3. Yeah. Looks like they're in the land of Scorched from the Maze Runner there. Age of Ultron versus the Marvel Zombies. I don't think this is #1. It's a variant edition. I don't know if that's part of Battle World or not, or Secret Wars. I'm not really seeing that now that I've got it. Battle World Siege #2. Ghost Racers. It has a very Roger Corman Death Watch 2000 feel to these covers. For you old school movie guys who know who Roger Corman is and who knows what Death Race is. If I said it right, who knows. Yeah, I got a couple of those. I'll probably end up keeping these because they're great Art Adams covers. Years of Future Past #1. Great seeing Art Adams back on the X-Men when we can get him. What is that, #5? Yeah, #5. Another great Art Adams cover. I don't know. So, great stuff. Call him just great. Armor Wars #1. I think James Robinson's writing these, so I'll give them a shot. He's Future Imperfect #1. Figure why not? Let's see what's going on. Secret Wars 2099. Battle World #1. Yeah. Nothing like seeing I don't know. Jeez. Battle World #3. I feel like I'm wasting time watching, pulling these out. Yeah. Just not really enthusiastic about it. Battle World again. Silver Surfer versus the Maestro. Oh, another Battle World. Thor's. Yes, by Jason Aaron. But yeah, Thor's #1 apparently. I got that. All kinds of Thors from the Ultimate Universe and all kinds of that stuff. A little Inferno. And another Infinity Gauntlet. What a way to bookend that. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. I went into it open-minded, gave it a shot. Anybody that's watched my videos knows that I have not been happy for decades with how they've done Doctor Doom. And what I read of there, of the Secret Wars, is I was like, am I reading a Marvel book or am I reading a freaking Game of Thrones wannabe? And then also we have Doom back in power, which was always one of my things about how Doom has never really been captured the right way. And they turn around and Doom now more or less is God of Battle World. And then that just started to make me wanting to facepalm over and over. So I quit reading. I was about to knock myself out. Doom has put himself in the stance of where he has taken Reed Richards' life. His court is made up of, Richards' kids and his wife. And I'm sort of like, that's not Doom. That's never been an ambition of Doom. Doom was born to rule. Doom wants power. The only person he ever wants to save family-wise is his mother from the demon that has her in hell somewhere. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so now that we're through that, now we're going to go on to what I got at the Mercer Mall in Princeton, West Virginia. Seems like every month they have this card show with some guys that are selling comics. And of course, with it being December and close to Christmas and the crowds, they've expanded it. So I went there after work, saw a few things. The guy was going to hold the books for me, and I was going to come back the next day. And when I came home, it dawned on me, I've got about 10 Deadpool books. None of them substantial, just random Deadpool books. I looked them up. Some are worth $3, some are worth $4. I know the movie's coming out. I'll go see what I get for trading with this. The guy tells me that he and his partner got a collection, bought the collection he was selling for $1,200, and I could tell he already cherry-picked through them and got some of the hotter books that he knew about. And then he pulled out some things from behind the desk when I brought the door from behind his table when he saw I had some Deadpool books, and it was the stuff he probably cherry-picked, but I found a few things that he didn't get out of there. So I got all of this I'm about to show you for 10 books, okay? It ranges from this little stack, and this stack, and this stack, and this stack, all for 10 Deadpool comic books that were just random issues there from the last couple years. Alright, so first thing it is, I believe these are authentic because I remember Todd McFarlane actually going to some comic book shows and people talking about it with Al Simmons. Al Simmons is the identity of Spawn, and he based the identity of Al Simmons on his college roommate whose name was Al Simmons, So not a lot of people know that. And I actually remember hearing about how Al Simmons was going around with him, with Todd McFarlane at places. So I think I'm okay on this one. But here's a Spawn #1, signed by Todd McFarlane. Here's a Spawn #1, signed by Al Simmons. And then I met Mark Bagley at HeroesCon a couple times. I have a book of Spider-Man books signed by him with a certificate of authenticity. Plus, I have a Mark Bagley book somewhere upstairs that I had him sign. So I compared it to this signature of Mark Bagley, and even though I'm not, an expert or anything on signatures, it looks pretty good. But here's Fantastic Four 351, signed by Mark Bagley. He missed those, okay? Get through the Batman stuff here, right? Here again, there is one of the greatest Batman horror stories that no one is really aware of out there. Not like Killing Joke and Dark Knight and all that stuff. And I'm not saying it's that great, but this is really good because I also think this is maybe a sequel to Batman Gotham by Gaslight, which really broke Mike Mignola. But Mike Mignola came in with a guy named Richard Pace or something like that, and they wrote this. It was a 3-issue prestige series that came out in the 90s that I could kick myself because I don't know how I missed it. But it's called The Doom That Came to Gotham, and this is #2. I think there's 3 of them. So I was so happy to finally get this. Even if it's just 1 issue, I was like, oh my god, okay. Piecing this together, I now have 2 issues of this 4-issue miniseries. Batman Year 100 by Paul Pope. So I've heard great things about this, and there's a lot of Pope fans out there. Pope Paul Pope is a Commandy fan. DC wouldn't let him do Commandy, so he took off and did Battling Boy, which I'm going to end up getting those. And I'm chipping away at my DC Comics 1 million one-shots that came out with the DC 1 million miniseries that came out, where they took all their books for a month or two or something and pretended what would be like a million months from the 1998 or whatever it was. So here's Robin 1 million. Here is Catwoman 1 million. And the Creeper 1 million, which just looks freaking awful. I'm not saying the other two look like they were, classics or anything, but God, that's awful. So yeah, I'm just for you guys that haven't been following my channel or new subscribers, I'm always piecing together the 25 to about 150 of Cerebus, all the Secret Wars 2 crossovers, all the DC 1 million crossovers, and Hellblazer, and I'm sure there's one or two other things I'm putting together. The Marvel 25th anniversary bordered comics from 1986 that they did on all the comics. I'm getting real close to those. Continuing with the trade, 2 random issues. I now need 1 issue of the Jeff Johns pre-52 his Green Lantern run, which was fantastic. Here's number 15, which has the Global Guardians, the Justice League popping up. Apparently issue 14, 15, 16. I just need number 14 now, but 14, 15, 16, the covers really don't do justice with what's going on in the books, man. It was, I was like, there's Rocket Reds popping up and the Justice League popping up. I mean, I was like, what? And you look at the cover and you get that. Anyway, here's number 15. Found a beat up little issue of Justice League. I love Justice League of America, so here's 164. You got that in there. And then I got some Flash books. This is a little arc that I thought was complete because I was just flipping through the books, getting through there. But I think it's missing about 3 issues, and I'll just wait to get it. But Mark Waid came on the Flash, and he did the book for years, and Ringo came on there, and it was getting highly acclaimed, and he was giving a Silver Age feel back during those grimy, violent, books of the 90s and stuff, and got a lot of people's attention. And then all of a sudden he needed a break, so Mark Millar and Grant Morrison came in and did about a year run. I think it's about a year, give or take. And then Wade came back. But they had 2, 3 little stories that I've heard are just freaking classic. The Human Race and Emergency Stop and things. So, here's issue 130. 131, I believe. 132. I'm missing 131. 133. Yeah, Grant Morrison, Mark Millar. It's great stuff. A little playing with the Mirror Master. I was excited about this one because Grant Morrison put the Mirror Master and Animal Man back in the day. 134, A Day in the Life of the Flash, with my favorite Flash, Jay Garrick. Then we get into the Human Race. Here's part 1 of 3. I heard this was a great story. Part 2 of 3, 137. I bet I don't have 138. 139, The Black Flash, 1 of 3. This was supposed to have been a fantastic little story. And The Black Flash, part 2 of 3. And I don't have the 3rd one, so got to find those. And then we get on there to where I'm trying not to beat down on Marvel too much. I've been doing it a lot lately and don't mean to. But they had the story One More Day by Peter Parker. Peter Parker had taken his mask off during Civil War. Let everybody know his secret identity. Things happen. He makes a deal with Mephisto, which is supposed to be right on par with making a deal with the devil. And all of a sudden, Mephisto has all these powers he's never shown before, where he can make everybody forget, his identity. And it was actually Mary Jane who popped up in there and I don't know. It was awful. It was just a way to get everybody to have Spider-Man not married and have everybody forget his secret identity. And the thing about it is that the part about having everyone in the world forget your secret identity was done in the Flash first. Something happened. I'm not going to spoil it. In issue 200 of the Flash, Jeff Johns had come on, and the story had been done and been done even better. Okay. It happened, the story picked up in Flash 201. It was a way that everyone had forgotten that Wally West was the Flash, including Wally West. Okay? So it had been done before, and it had been done great. I've read 2, 3 issues of this, and it's I don't want to hype it up, but it's a very satisfying read so far. So here's issue 201. Okay. 202. That should be 203. Yes. 204. There's an issue I didn't get because I already have it. Batman comes in with issue 205, and these are, like I said, these are done by these are written by Jeff Johns. Okay, we have 206, where we have you know, Captain Code, and then we get some Michael Turner covers here. Here's issue 207. Michael Turner covers, man, he has a very solid fan base even after his passing. 208, and he's not one of those artists that more people jumped on because he passed away. I've seen a lot of the same people who were Mike Turner fans. They get very sad that he's passed away. You know, 209, and they still pick up his stuff. It's like we got Superman and the Flash there in the Justice League coming after Wally West there. 20210, another great Mike Turner cover there with a little Reverse Flash or Professor Zoom. 211. That's a great cover, man. Him and the Flash in motion. 212 with the Mirror Master. And that should be 213. Yes. And then it goes into, I want to say, was it Identity Crisis? And I have those upstairs. And then it ran into the Rogues War, which I absolutely love. And the last stat, guys. Thanks for hanging in there. But this is some odds and ends, which I really liked. The thing about Dark Horse Comics is I know that their Star Wars titles are saying that they're not canon and stuff, which is fine, because I never considered them canon to begin with. I'm one of those people, if it didn't come from George Lucas, it didn't happen. But I've eased up on that over the years and stuff. And the Star Wars tales, this is about the only series from the Dark Horse books I really want to complete. It's an anthology series. It's got 2, 3, sometimes 4, I think, stories, short stories in there, picking, you know, here and there. Funny stories, serious stories, filling in gaps with the movies, bringing back characters, just a variety of stuff. And they always, and sometimes they get, you know, top-notch talent to come in. Garth Ennis did this fantastic story of a stormtrooper that leads into A New Hope. I mean, it was just great the way he wrote it. But anyway, got a few more of these. Number 13 with you know, the Mace Windu on the cover. These are pretty thick when you get them. And number 14 with Ewok on it, which cracked me up. Okay. Filling up my Kurt Busiek run on Avengers he did there in the late 90s, early 2000s. Issue 55, getting close to his end. Kurt Busiek on the Avengers is just fantastic. Number 56. And then he had the year run. Jeff Johns came on after Kurt Busiek left and did, I don't know, I think about a year's worth of comics. He had those, and I didn't get them. He even brought in Stan Sadowski because it was just flipping me out that we had the team that was doing GSA, doing the Avengers. It was amazing. Hulk 300 here. It's a little bit beat up. Something I wanted to say about this book, but I can't remember it. But I think this led into the Hulk just being, you know, such a raving monster that Doctor Strange ended up sending him to a Steve Ditko Nexus Between Realities kind of universe, where the Hulk was finally taken off Earth, and he had quite a run there. You know, something like that. You know. It led to Alpha Flight fishing him out by accident, trying to find a body for Wendigo or Box or somebody. And then I found these for trade. I'm gonna probably end up putting these on eBay, but I probably want not this issue. That's a great Jack Kirby cover on Ghost Rider. But we have some Bronze Age goodness. Here's Ghost Rider 21, and then it jumps up to number 52. He said he had a number 6 in there that somebody had gotten. So here's Ghost Rider of that. Ghost Rider 54. If somebody is watching this and made it all the way through this video to this, is this the same character that popped up in, I don't even remember what it was called now. Oh my gosh, the Jason Aaron series that came out last year where somebody murdered the Watcher. What I'm asking is that, you know, here's a guy on a motorcycle with a gigantic head for an eyeball. Was that not in that run last year? And I can't believe I'm going blank on this. I can see the covers, the comics. Oh, I can't think of the title. But anyway, it was the big murder mystery. Who killed the Watcher? You know. Okay. Little Ghost Rider meeting the original Ghost Rider, number 56, which I thought was that's very cool. Number 57. No, I can't say a whole lot about these. I remember reading a few of my stepdad's when I was a kid. I was a fan of the 1990 Ghost Rider #1, where Danny Ketch took over and Johnny Blaze eventually popped in there. That was great Mark's Tex era work on that one. Javier Salters. My buddy Scott Connor watches my videos, and when we went to see Star Wars Thursday night, he laughed at me because he says that not only do I have a thing about mispronouncing creators' names, I'm not consistent. I always have a different way to say it. And I've thought about that, and it's because over the years, all these years of collecting comics, I've talked to a lot of people, and I'm remembering every way somebody had said the name mispronounced. Now, that doesn't give me an excuse, and I'm not blaming other people, but I've heard Lin Wine, stuff like that. And here I am trying to remember Javier Salter's name, and I can't pronounce it. It cracks me up. Anyway, great artists. They're both great artists. They draw skulls really good. So anyway, moving on. Here's number 65. 66. This is a good little run here. Oh, where are we at here? 69. Too easy. I'm not going to say anything. Number 70. I like that. 72. Floating head. And beating up a clown. That's got to be good. I knew they were evil. Number 73, I really like that cover. I never noticed it. It's a poster for the circus, but as you can see when you move it out, there's a skull hidden in there where it's burning. That is cool. I dig that. And number 74. Looks like that's not Dracula. They almost fooled me. But that's awesome. There we go. Alright, got all those in trade, man, and that's it. I got some other stuff, but I got it Goodwill's and given to me for Christmas and stuff. I'll just do that in another video, man. So, thanks a lot, guys. Hang in there. Catch you later. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.